All right. Today is August 29th of 2025. Today we signed three new clients, all right? Um Now if you're looking at the stripe, like it looks good, right? We signed like 12 and a half grand in a single day. But if you've been like keeping up and checking out this channel, you know how much of a absolute shit show this week has been. Um all I can say is we finished the month strong. This morning I was on our team huddle with our leadership team. And all I said was, this week has been rough. Let's finish strong. We got a long weekend ahead of us with Labor Day. By the way, if you're a grown ass man and you like holidays, you need to take a deep internal look at yourself because I don't know what grown ass man that's really about his shit that likes holidays because holidays fucking suck. Okay, not in the sense where you can't spend time with your family, but in the sense that no one, unless it's Black Friday or Cyber Monday, you can say goodbye to people having urgency to buy something during a holiday period. All right. But anyway, went through real trials and tribulations this week. I'm just glad we finished the week strong. All right. So with us having a 12 and a half grand today, we finished the month at about 140 to $144,000 this month. I still have to tally up all the numbers, which I'll do this weekend. Plus, we got about 2 more days, so maybe it'll be a few extra $100 over the weekend. But yeah, there's only one thing I can really say in this video, and there's something I've been really struggling with, and it's this daily intention. Let go of it's actually let go and let God. All right. So if there's one thing I want to tell you, it's this daily intention here that I've personally been really struggling with, like sincerely. Like, and if you watch this channel, you know like it's one thing I want to have down, impact in my system, ingrained in my soul. Let go and let God. Okay, and it's extremely hard with all this motivational content and all this, Instagram reels you see where if you're not working hard, if you're not waking up at 4, 5, 6 a.m., if you're a bitch. That's how it feels. Anytime you go on Instagram, TikTok, you see a motivational reel with someone calling you a bitch because you're not making $1 million a month, waking up at 4 a.m., taking cold showers, and doing all this hoopla rah rah bullshit. All right, it's super hard to really process this with all this red pill going on today. But let go and let God. All right. And this is a personal testament to myself. I've asked all my friends about it. Like, when you hit your biggest month, my friends that have hit $100,000 in a single month, when you hit your $100,000 month, were you stressed out? Like, were you working super hard? I've asked people this before. Everybody has said no. And that's when it hit me. In 2023, like, I went through the biggest shit show of my life, like midlife crisis, and I was like 18 years old. But long story short, I hadn't signed a client for 18 months. I had a long term relationship I was in that just ended. It was a 4 year long relationship. Uh, Broke my soul straight up, be honest. It did, but it made me who I am today, and I couldn't be more blessed, right? But anyway, that happened. I had to drop out of college at the time because I was just going through way too much mentally and with everything that I was going through. And I was still fucking broke as fuck. Like, and when I say broke, I mean like 18 clients, 18 months, and I didn't sign a single client. And even back then, there was this mentorship program I'm not going to say on this video, but I remember I went through that breakup. There's so much going on. I realized I'm not where I want to be in life. I just want to fucking make it. I just want to make it. I had $7,300 in my bank account, Citibank. Fuck Citibank. All right, Bank with Chase. $7,300 in my bank account, and I spent 7 grand on a coaching mentorship course, piffed out. All right, and I was like, I need to change my situation. That's all I need to do. I spent the 7,000. I piffed out, and it turned out to be one of the worst courses I've ever bought, straight up. So where that left me was a period where in October of 2023, I was more helpless than ever. I had no hope. I was just like, I need to work my ass off and get out of this. So in October 2023, I only slept for 15 days. In November of 2023, I only slept for 6 days. I used to do something called 72 hours on, 16 hours off, right? So I'd stay up for 72 hours, flooded with caffeine, and then I would rest for about 12 to 16 hours. All right, back at it. And so during this whole time, no success, no success. And the crazy thing, I was working my ass off. I was working, obviously, 72 hours on. I was working every hour of the day, and I still couldn't achieve the success I wanted. It wasn't until I was doing all this while I was in school at Loyola in Chicago. I was also taking a little programming course. I wanted to be a computer science major at Northwestern University, also in Chicago. So I was basically enrolled in two universities while trying to really start my business. Had the weight of the world on my shoulders. That's just what it felt like, right? It came a time where I was so stressed. I hadn't slept in days. I had like, it's not a real heart attack. It was like a mini heart attack where I had these crazy chest palpitations. Chest was hurting so bad. Had to get rushed to the emergency room. It was at that point where I said, okay, wow. This has gone too far. I'm doing too much, right? And at that point, it wasn't until this was around late mid-November. It wasn't until that point I had that realization that, I can't live like this. I let go. Okay. And so that brings me to my next point. Life is just like all peaks and troughs, right? You'll be super locked in, and then, you're going back to baseline, right? You'll be super sad, and then you're happy. Why is it that when you cry your eyes out in that 2023, when I was going through all that, there was this night I cried my eyes out because I hated everything about where I was at. I hated it so much. I cried so hard. Like I'm a grown, I like, since I turned 16, 17, 18, and I'm now 20, I don't cry. It's not my thing. I cried like a baby, and I had like the worst thoughts. But after you cry, like, you get happy. If you're happy for too much, it's just the universe is completely balanced. You can't stay on too far on one side of the spectrum. Earlier this week, I was stressed out of my mind. I feel like I'm on like 10 grams of ashwagandha right now. I don't feel anything. I'm completely numb. I swear. It's all balanced though. It's the universe at work. So that brings me back to what I was saying, my story. It wasn't until that point I was so stressed, right? This 72, I was not sleeping, so stressed, had a heart attack, boom, let go. And I was just like, I just let go. And tell me why it wasn't until that point. You know, if you keep up with me, November 2023 was when I had my first $6,500 month with my agency. Next month, $22,000 in December of 2023, right? But that didn't come until the whole time we're grinding, the whole November, and then the last week of November, we signed 3 clients and make $6,500 in a month, right? All that happens once I let go. So I swear to God, if there's one thing I can give to you, and if there's one thing I can ingrain in my soul, okay, you work hard and you work your ass off, but mentally and emotionally, you need to detach and you need to let go, because that's not how you play this game. All it does, you're applying this external pressure to yourself. If you think about it, why do you really want to be successful? Really? Like, you want people to look at you cool. You want a fast car, you want a Lambo, Ferrari, a BMW, whatever the fuck you want, an Audi. Why do you really want it? Because if there was no one else on this world and it was just you, who the fuck are you going to impress with a fucking car? It's a car, right? So none of this shit really matters. You're applying all this external stress and pressure to yourself to make it at such a young age, when, and realistically in history, this is not normal, right? Nobody does this at this age. You're applying all this pressure to yourself for some materialistic success that in reality it doesn't matter, and you're stressing yourself out. Your brain, your body, your everything. You are fucking yourself up because you think you need to succeed so bad. And listen, I want it just as bad as you. Like, I want to succeed. I want it all. I want to make $1 million a month. I want to make half $1 million a month, and then two, and then 5 million, and then 10. I want to have a big company. I want it all. But just having all this stress and this pressure on yourself, it just never works. It never works. Not only is it bad for yourself, but for some reason, and this is the only reason I'm telling this to you, because if it was just bad for me, If I just if I just hurt myself with stress, but I was making $30,000 a day, I'd do it every single day. But I swear to God, I've tried that before. It doesn't work. I don't know why. I tried it. I swear. So work hard, but be balanced. You got to live life. And that's when the universe truly rewards you. I don't know why. I swear to God, I've tested that shit. I've tested it so much where you just lock in and you grind and you grind. And every single time I grind so hard until I burn out. Right. And then it's at that point where you're burnt and you let go. And that's when it comes to you. All right. I've tried it time and time again. Every time I say I'm locked in, I apply so much external pressure to achieving this goal and it never works. So that's the one thing I will leave with you. Let go and let God. If you can internally process it and truly understand it, it will change your life forever. It's not no voodoo, boo woo, rah rah bullshit. I promise you, I'm not sending you off. I wouldn't. I promise you. If there's one thing I can give to you, it's that. So, see you.